Nothing is separated. Everything's connected, so that these domains such as our faith, family, fitness, and finance, that they're all intertwined together. One of the reasons why I feel so passionately about doing this content context audit is because I believe it's going to give me feedback that I can bring into my faith domain, and it's an opportunity for me to find something that isn't in alignment with my relationship with God and work through it and solve it to get it in alignment. That is one of the most powerful things and why I believe in this so much. So the domains are in a specific order for a specific reason, faith being the first of them. But as I'm going to go through this audit, because I believe everything ties back, with each other, but it specifically gives me a lot of information I get to work through in faith, I want to do it backwards. So I'm going to start with the finance and then move to fitness and then family, so that I am informed as I jump into the faith content context audit. So one of the biggest goals I've had for a couple of years now is to add 2 additional sources of income. I wanted to create some intellectual property that I could sell and share, as well as get a vacation rental. So that's what I'm going to call the content. The content is my specific measurable goal. But if I look at the context, you can extract its essence through asking yourself the right questions, which you can start with, why or where is this coming from? Like, this goal of adding 2 sources of income, why does it matter to me? It first matters because I've experienced reliance on one source of income and having life unexpectedly happen to where that source of income was dramatically impacted. And it was uncomfortable. I didn't like it. I've heard a lot of wise people say in books, and people I know discuss like the wisdom of not relying on one source of income and having multiple streams of income. So from a knowledge and mind perspective, I know that this is an important goal, but I don't think if I was in alignment here, it would be so exhausting to me. And I've been working on these for a really long time, and it's been a draining process for me up until I had this shift happen. And let me just get into where is this coming from. So ultimately, the 2 sources of additional income were to set me up so that I wouldn't be so vulnerable. So I guess you could say I felt insecure. Something happened and that insecurity arose for me, and I was chasing security. And if you pull that back just a little bit further, I was chasing security really to avoid pain, actually avoid what I was perceiving as pain. Like, I wasn't actually physically in danger, but it was mentally and emotionally distressing to me to have my income impacted based on these circumstances that were outside of my control. So really, if you look at the context, like, my mind might say I'm making a financially wise decision to add 2 sources of income, but really what's happening here, like what's resonating through me, is I'm acting on these from a place of fear. So fear calibrates below the level of integrity. It does not support life. No wonder it was sucking my soul as I was approaching these goals. Like, I know I need to do this thing. I know it's going to be good for me. I know it's going to be beneficial, but why am I so exhausted and drained from it? Because I was trying to avoid perceived pain. I was trying to run away. I was afraid, and I was running from something, and that was my outcome. That was my goal. That was going to get me away from what I was afraid of. So this is where the context audit becomes really powerful, because I think to myself, can I really get myself to a place of financial security, abundance, adding multiple sources of income because I'm afraid? Like, logically speaking, I could probably accomplish the thing. I could probably do it. Am I going to be exhausted and drained along the way? Absolutely. That's what I'm trying to solve here, is like, I thought this would make my life better. Why is this draining and exhausting me? So this is where I get to allow my mind wants to jump right into, let's solve it. Like, let's solve working from this place of fear. But here's the thing. The mind can't know about something and have it go to your heart. Like, it's something I have to work through here. So my mind knows this is a wise decision, but in here it's like I'm chasing the fear. Or I'm chasing it from a place of fear. So what could the shift be? I've actually experienced this shift when I was reading a book. What I realized is that all of my financial goals were coming from a place of shame or not shame, fear and avoidance of like my past. I don't want to repeat those experiences that I had. And I realized creating value for people is the thing from which income arises. If I am creating value for other people disproportionate to what I'm asking in return, it's going to be a no-brainer for them. And that's the natural result. Creating value for people is going to bring me income. So this is my big thing, is I now shifted to how can I create so much value for people that when I ask for a fraction of that value in return by whatever I charge or whatever my price is or rate is, how much more invigorating is that? Like, I am tangibly helping people's lives be better. And that is like, that can be sustaining in and of itself. Like, income or no income, like, set that aside. Like, that is something that can really get me excited. Like, that's coming from a place of like love for my brother. So shifting the context from this is my goal and I'm approaching from a place of fear to this is my goal and I'm approaching it from this place of creation. When you look at the content context, like, if I'm creating value for other people, the possibility is set. Like, I'm setting that field of possibility to allow value to be returned back to me. That is such a more powerful place. So that's a shift I experienced, but this is also informing my faith domain. What do I have left here that why am I holding on to this fear? And why was I hesitant, or do I experience hesitancy to go and create value for other people? What's going on there? That's going to let me dive into the spirit and self connection even deeper. So that's going to inform that as we move forward. So we're going to journal that and note when we get to our faith domain, this is some of the things that we're seeing arise.